What's up?
I'm awake now.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Pitre Dish. I'm your host, Howard Pitre, along with Bat Chad now. And Jackie, she'll be in a little bit later. She's out apartment hunting. Tonight's guests are Mr. Ernie Pack and Mr. Todd, the Todd Escue. Before we get started, I'd like to promote Save Waverly Hills. If you haven't, go down and donate to the website. We'll have the website up in a little bit. And it's for a good cause. Of course, you've heard Ernie and Todd and everybody. I've talked about it, about saving Waverly Hills. So, yeah, that's a priority. That's a must. So, last time we had Mr. Ernie on here, we was talking about para-unity. And there were some stories that were coming out. And Todd was in the comments and wasn't being able to actually make his case out there that much. So we wanted to get Todd on here and to tell his side of these stories because you only heard just Ernie's side. So
I told the truth.
Okay.
I told the truth.
Do you agree with that, Todd?
His version of the truth, yeah.
His version of the truth. All right. So one of the big things, I have to ask you this one first.
I'm guessing that Facebook user must be Denise that says, I'm here to keep things straight.
Yeah, it must be. Well, yeah, that's Denise because when she says Howie.
For some reason, if they go on your page, Howard,
I think that's one.
it shows them as Facebook user.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
See, that's kind of one of those things. Ernie's already coached her as to what to and what not to say is right or wrong.
No, she's going to tell the truth just like I tell the truth, Todd. And you're just going to have to defend yourself.
I was wearing the mask. I'm not going to wear a mask.
One of the things I have to ask, because we had Ricky Hellard on last night, and he says he doesn't look at a Hoover vacuum cleaner the same. Now, this is a story I'd like to know about. What's the story with the vacuum cleaner?
That one, unfortunately, does not involve the Todd. You know how Ricky kind of gets off on tangents sometimes?
Okay.
He got on a tangent about a vacuum cleaner being used inappropriately. Let's just put it that way. And I happened to be on the show at the time. And so now he relates me, he makes a correlation with me and vacuum cleaners when it wasn't my story at all. But hello, Courtney. I mean, I can't really go into a whole lot of detail about it right now because we have a child in the room.
You know what he's saying, Austin? He's saying go in the house. I'm surprised you're still awake.
He took a nap, so I don't know.
He was, but he was like about to pass out. Okay, go in the house.
Oh, Ernie, was that Ricky's attempt to get on You Can't Make This Shit Up?
Okay, get inside.
It might have been.
Sorry.
Oh, now it's Batman. He can stay up.
What's that?
So now it's Batman. He can stay up.
Oh, yeah, he can stay up later now. Courtney, that disclaimer she puts up, I appreciate it, but it's not nearly strong enough sometimes.
She ain't gonna put up X-rated.
Not yet.
Wait till Jackie gets on here.
Oh, Lord.
There's Jennifer. All right. So some of these stories we were talking about last week One of them has to do with, I believe it was finding. It was directions where you parked your car. One way, when somebody wanted to go, you was going by GPS, and then the other one, Ernie was going by instinct. Todd was going by GPS.
Yeah.
And then Ernie was supposed to have been the correct one.
Of course. Todd, you want to talk about that?
No, I don't think GPS was involved at all. It was verbal directions we got from somebody who, yeah, there she is again. Verbal direction that we got from somebody that was talking about a funeral.
Now, see, look, well, hold on. Let me stop you right there, Todd. You've done had another stroke. That's not what we're talking about.
Which one are you talking
We're
about?
talking about when we had to go get the car from the cliff walk.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah, it had the GPS set to walk, and it was walking us out into the ocean. Yeah. I admit to being wrong on that one, and I claimed that one.
Okay.
But it still took us longer than expected to get from the restaurant to the car.
It did. It was a hike.
By the time we got back to the restaurant, the ladies had already had 2 or 3 drinks without us.
Yeah. So dinner was hell for us. We get back to the restaurant and they're like, these are good. You should get one of these. Like, what?
Okay, Austin, enough.
Yeah, that's about how that night ended up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have multiple strokes on that trip. They call them strokes. I just call it English is hard.
Actual strokes.
No, it was just English is hard.
He has a hard time talking sometimes.
You know, your brain gets moving a lot faster than you can verbalize, and things get jarbled.
Oh, damn. I was trying to get some stuff up there for Waverly Hills, but
I like that.
I don't have a green screen.
We're out there.
What is happening?
So, what was another thing? I wanted to talk about this also. How did Ernie and Denise? Well, y'all worked together at Waverly for a long time. How did y'all first meet?
Go ahead, Tom.
How did we first meet? Well,
Because I mean, y'all vacation together, y'all do everything together. It seems like as couples.
That's my brother right there.
yeah.
And
Take a bullet for him.
that's what that's something that's rare in this field.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
We actually first met, this was about 2.5 years ago. We met at Old South Pittsburgh. Leanne and I were guides, and Ernie and Denise, and I want to think it was 2 of Denise's daughters came in for an overnight. And that was really the first place that we met. And then we ran into each other at a couple other locations like Rosemont, and then at
The Perry Unity event down at the Old Stone Jail.
the Old Stone Jail, and that event right there kind of kicked things off for us, and kind of been friends and brothers and family ever since. So
were y'all already married, or y'all were single guys? What was the deal?
I've been married for 26 years.
My basic gifts.
My computer keeps running slow with the background, so
My
That's all right.
Yeah.
And Denise and I were just friends back when we met the Todd, or when I met the Todd.
Yep.
Hi
And then
guys.
you have Jax.
Man, I was about to say Ernie changed.
We're not taking it
Ernie's do breasts.
here in the house.
Ernie's got breasts now.
Oh, nice. Let's see him.
Nope. Nothing down there.
Nothing down there. What
So
are you
with
guys
that-
talking about? Ernie's breast?
Well,
Now we were talking about yours.
Oh, I got good ones.
I seen it.
well, we were talking about how Todd and I met, and how we became brothers, and it's really weird. I mean, I was a guide at Waverly, and Denise, I'd met Denise at Waverly. You all have heard that story about how we met at Waverly and were brought together by Sarah there. And Denise invited me to go to Old South Pittsburgh with her, and went down there. I hardly knew Denise really, other than meeting her at Waverly, and we were just friends at the time, still. And I get down there and rode to Old South Pittsburgh with her, and Todd and Leanne meet us there at the front door. They tell us they're guides for the night. And I mean, it's one of those situations where you just instantly feel connected to people. And, never thought I'd see them again. But, they were our guides that night. We had a good night, had some activity there. Old South Pittsburgh's an awesome place. And Todd and Leanne know it as well as anybody. They're excellent guides. And like I say, left there, never thought I'd see him again. I'd given him a Waverly coin when I went down there. And then we get asked by Greg Childress to come down and help co-host an event down at Rosemont in Gallatin, Tennessee. We go down there, and Todd and Leanne are also down there helping host it, along with Night Stalkers Paranormal, and golly, there were a few others. Joe Garavaglia was there. I think Rutherford County was down there. There were a few other paranormal teams down there helping host this. But, ran into them again and hit it off again. And then they had some things go down where they left Old South Pittsburgh. Very similar to how we all wound up leaving Waverly back in July of this past year. And there was a Para-Unity event down at Old Stone Jail in Franklin, Kentucky that Billy Wilkerson and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Paranormal puts on. We went down to that, and Todd and Leanne showed up at that along with the rest of the Black Wolf. And from that moment, it was just weird. From the moment they walked up, they told us about how they had just walked away from Old South Pittsburgh. And, this was just a couple of days after that had gone down, I think. And, we just all bonded. Todd, Leanne, Beth, myself, Denise, the Sheilas, everybody that was a part of the Black Wolf at the time. We just all kind of instantly became this wolf pack.
It was meant to be.
Normal and the Black Wolf. And we've been together ever since. And wouldn't trade them for nothing.
That's awesome.
What I want to know, and this is from my own curiosity, Todd and Ernie are like brothers. And they might as well be brothers because they do everything together, including bathe and hold hands and they do everything. But
No.
I want to know what has Todd done for Ernie's biscuit addiction?
Talk about bowls, Todd. Go ahead.
I knew that's where he was going to go. Well, another one of those stops on our trip. We stopped at a Bob Evans. I'm sorry?
Hershey, Pennsylvania. I know where it was.
It was a Bob Evans.
In Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and ordered biscuits and gravy. They bring you a bowl of gravy. Ernie's sitting across the table from me, and he keeps sticking his finger in my bowl of gravy. And I told him to keep his fingers out of my bowl of gravy, and it came out just like that. So,
Sound like Elmer Fudd trying to scold me. What's up, T-Dog?
what's up, T?
That's funny.
Oh, it's one of those things to where if you could have had a film crew following us around, it would have made for some pretty high quality comedy.
Yeah. I mean, the entire trip was just, I mean, there wasn't really a moment that went by that wasn't worth laughing about, to be honest.
Oh, those are the best.
Didn't Ernie even shit his pants or something?
I did not shit my pants back, Dad.
Shit his pants. Yep. We heard the shit the pants story. You got pictures
Oh,
too.
do tell, Ernie. It's out
Okay.
now.
I got to clear this up. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
We covered this last week, but since you weren't here, Jackie, I will explain it again.
Okay.
Okay. We stopped at a gas station. And I got one of those. Go ahead.
back it up. We're driving down the road, and we passed.
I'm backing it up to the gas stop before when
Okay.
we bought the Reese's.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. I'll tell the whole story.
All right.
You worry about yourself, Todd. I got this.
Coming from your wife right now.
Yeah, she's
Denise is a liar.
Oh.
Oh, you just said you said her back.
What? No, you all said that. Okay.
He's going
I
down.
go in because I'm a good husband. I go in and I get one of those king size Reese's. It's got 4 in it, right? I hand it to Denise because she said, I need something sweet. Get me a Reese's or something. So I get her the king size. I hand it to Denise. She opens it. I assume she gets 2 out. She hands me the package back. I take 2 out. I eat 2. I set the package in the seat next to me. Okay? We're going down the road through somewhere in the middle of Maryland or somewhere. And everybody's like, we all start smelling something. I don't know if we went by a pig farm or what. It was night. It was dark. But we all start smelling something. And of course, everybody is like, somebody shit their pants. Who shit their pants? And nobody would own up to it. So then we get to the point we need gas again. We stop at a gas station. Todd gets out to pump the gas. The girls give me their orders on what to get and go in the store and get for everybody. I get out of the van and start to walk up to the store. And they're like, oh my God. Her and Denise and Leanne. Oh my God, look, did you shit your pants? Look. And they look in the seat and there's brown just smeared all over the seat.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what? No, I didn't shit my pants. What are y'all talking? And I'm looking and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then I turn around to walk away again and they start laughing and pointing at my butt. And I'm like, what? And they're just laughing. I'm like, help me, what? I'm turning around. I can't see my ass. I don't know what's back there. But they're looking and Todd's looking and he just leans through the car and looks and then turns and walks away. And I'm like, help me. What is going on? What are y'all laughing at? There was a Reese cup that was centered right in the middle of my butt, up to my butt there. Still had the wrapper on it. Probably still edible.
Oh my God.
And as I'm standing there asking for help, it slowly peeled off my butt and fell to the pavement.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's what happened. And then, of course, now, I'm legendary for shitting my pants on vacation.
We got video evidence. We got photo evidence of this.
You
Oh,
got
God.
Yeah.
photo of a
That's
Reese's going
funny.
stuck in my butt. Where's the photo?
You want to
Put
that
it
up
up.
there?
Let me see.
Chat, you got there. You go. Chat and boom.
You can see. Check out the diameter of the chocolate smear. That is the exact diameter of a Reese's wrapper.
That
Oh my
looks
god.
like that looks
That's
like shit.
funny.
That
Those
looks
look
like
like-
shit.
Ah!
You look like shit, Matt Chad. That's a damn Reese's.
My pants ain't brown.
Oh, that's funny.
So
That's
anyway,
a funny
that
story.
happened. I thought we were roasting Todd.
No, we were not. No, that's another thing.
We're talking about y'all two in general, just your friendship.
Yeah.
Now,
Let's
why
get back
would-
to bathtub time.
Yeah, no.
about how your 2-mile hike turned into a 12-mile hike. You know,
Jeez, it sounds like my drive over to Howard's house.
huh?
That's
My
what-
32-mile exit, remember?
I swear, you and Ane's drive over there looks like the beginning of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
They took a road in Texas. It was supposed to have been 30 minutes. It took them almost like 3 hours.
3.5 hours later.
And
A 30-minute
supposedly
trip.
they were seeing animals and all kinds of stuff out in the road. And I think it was because they were both took some LSD or something before they left.
Suicidal raccoon
Yeah,
decided to
suicidal
charge a
raccoon.
moving car. I mean, come on.
This is all true. I have video footage.
But
This
nobody's
black
seen the video.
furry thing that was running along the road and have no
Oh, I
body
can't tell you
to
what that was. That was the mystery creature of the night. I don't know what that was. You could see through the thing. Yeah, it was weird.
Good. A lot of hallucinations you can see through.
Probably the spirit of that raccoon y'all ran over.
Well, I'm telling you, we were literally drinking water and maybe iced tea that night, so there was nothing in our system. It was just crazy
It
town.
wasn't what you were drinking while you were driving, it was what you took in the middle.
We ended up driving through Fredericksburg, which apparently is like where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre happened, and we had no idea. Who knew?
You see a mailbox that said "Gine," you know. over there.
There are a lot of weird things.
Yeah, you know that.
That's all I gotta say.
Welcome to
It's
the
going in my
Judge's
book, though. I can tell you that it's book worthy.
You drove close to Marfa, Texas, too, so
Yeah, it was a crazy trip.
Which
Till we
one of
got
the
there.
crazy- Who was the craziest trips that Ernie and Todd has taken together? Not with the girls, just y'all too.
No, they don't let us go anywhere without them.
Or to
They
keep
don't.
y'all out of trouble.
Shit. They are the trouble.
Niece going to come on here in a minute.
We have not had a guy's trip yet. We need to somehow sneak away one of these days.
Yeah.
Do
Maybe
some
we can
fishing
be
or something.
106.
Hiking.
We'll manage. If we can possibly outlive them, we could do that.
You seen the looks Kim gave me whenever I talked about coming down there for the wedding by myself.
Yeah,
Well, so
you would have been like that raccoon, dead,
Yeah.
murdered.
Well, Kim said that if I would have come down there and stayed with Anna and you, we would have been divorced anyway. So
It would have been Wookie Cookie everywhere.
yeah.
And
Wall to
boobs.
wall. And boobs. Speaking about boobs, where the hell's Joe Bat? I haven't seen him on for a while.
He's probably working. I'll message him.
He sent me a happy birthday.
Aw. He's such a nice lady. Let me find him.
I'll tag him in the chat.
Yeah.
No,
But y'all never had a men's trip. Just not even go down. Hey, Todd, come on over. We're gonna go
No.
fishing this weekend. Nothing.
closest thing to that was I drove to Gallatin and helped Todd cut up a tree that had blown down in his yard during a tornado.
But Leanne was here.
Yeah, but she was there. That's right.
You got to tell them you're going somewhere horrible that a girl wouldn't want to go.
Oh, we've tried that. They want to go.
It's Denise and Leanne. There's not a place like that.
See, I knew that'd bring her out.
Yeah,
There it is.
She's come out of the woodwork for that.
I knew she'd come out for that.
They're not allowed to vacation with us, so. Well, the girls should do a girls' trip while the guys are doing a guys' trip. There you go.
They've even planned a girls' trip that we're not allowed to do. We got to stay home.
No,
Boys
no,
trip means-
everybody boys trips. Look,
Honey, that's my trip
that's
through and
boys'
through.
trip. That is boys' trips. We're talking about men's trips. Okay, when you get married and you settled in and there's you get to a certain age, you're not up to no good. You're looking just to get away and just get peace of mind. Just to throw maybe a lure in the water, or just go walking or hiking up in the mountains or the woods somewhere, or it doesn't matter. Whatever. Going
You
to a
might run into
NASCAR
me
race.
there.
What did she say?
You're saying she doesn't travel?
Jack was there.
They don't. They would get lost if they tried to travel without us. Denise
That's
can't
funny.
make it to the Circle K from the house without GPS. So
Thank God for GPS.
Didn't y'all get lost on a hike?
who, us?
Yeah.
Not us.
Whenever y'all
That's
went
probably
hiking
me.
Ernie,
on that
okay,
trail.
The Todd was heading, he was following his GPS, and I was telling him this is not the right way.
Right.
Shit.
That's about, whatever, woman. She's trying to be talking now.
Hey, well, she didn't say she wasn't lost. Well, she just said she traveled.
Yeah, she meant to just go to the store.
Hey, even when you're lost, you're traveling.
That's what I'm saying. She just
Wound
said
up
she
in
traveled.
Phoenix.
Oh, hell.
Wait a minute, this looks like Times Square. I was looking for Walmart.
Or Harbor Freight.
Oops. How'd that happen?
Harbor Freight.
Took a wrong turn.
Oh. Next thing you know, she's in New Orleans on Bourbon Street.
That's the kind of trips I take.
No, Denise has traveled all over. She's a celebrity stalker. And she's chased Sebastian Stan all over the country and found him, caught him, to the point that there's actually a picture of him holding up a sign next to her that says, "Help me." You've seen it, Todd. It's true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you have a picture with that similar sign, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I feel his pain. Oh, but no, we have Todd and I have never taken a trip without Denise and Leanne, and we probably won't because we're
You're married.
I mean,
we have way too much fun as a family. So,
Aw, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
I tell you, for the
no, I didn't.
that trip we were on, we were gone for 10 days.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a moment that we weren't laughing at one point or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back
Yeah, that's a
with
good thing.
sore abs from laughing so hard.
Yeah. And you know how it is. We've all done this. We've all taken trips with people, and after after a week or so, I don't care how close you are with somebody. Usually, you're like, I like to just kind of slide off on my own for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like get away from everybody for a little bit. It wasn't like that. I mean, we just
Enjoy each
we
other's
met.
companies.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Well,
great.
that
Even if
well,
even
there
if
was
somebody in
the
the car
fact that
shits
I had the
their
car
pants,
keys.
So how long's this bromance been going on?
bromance.
Romance.
We came on at 9:00 Eastern time. It's 9:36.
Actually, it was 9:05, so it's been 31 minutes.
Yeah, we were a little bit
30,
late coming
31
on.
minutes of pure love.
31 minutes. No. I guess you missed that part. We met, what it was, about 2.5 years ago, I guess.
Right.
And
And
finally,
it seems so much longer.
yeah. I guess it's been about coming up on 2 years now that we've actually been close.
Right.
Aw, that's so nice.
But no, when I went back to work at Waverly last year, I knew that I had to have Todd and Leanne come up and help out with the tours because they had done a great job when I took a tour with them down at Old South Pittsburgh. And we were killing it last year. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, the reviews were off the charts. We were packing the place. Yeah, you did know them longer. Whatever. They didn't know. They didn't know you though. But
they didn't know you.
Facebook friendships don't count.
no, they had run into one another several times at ghost hunting events with Doogie and Jason and the Fearless Ones and Wraith Chasers, all that bunch back in the day. But
Cool.
There's that.
Yeah. Todd doesn't know anyone, and no one knows Todd.
I know Todd.
But,
Every time Ernie says something, it's always about Todd or Todd. You know, they support each other. That's what I like about their friendship. Also, it was like last week. Todd was in the room defending Ernie, and of course, you know, they were telling stories on there, and we was only getting Ernie's side of the story, not Todd's side.
That's the truth.
The camera.
Apparently, Todd needed a little time to walk away, Ernie.
Well, yeah, I was going to come back to that point right there. You know, he talks about, you know, time to get away. The main reason nobody had any time to get away is because I had the car keys.
Yeah. Yeah. We always make Todd drive.
See?
Because the Todd does not speak Starbucks. And so we always find a Starbucks en route, and everybody puts in the most screwed up orders they possibly can for Todd to put in at the drive-thru. And that's always an adventure.
Well, there's a video out there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a video out there of a 15-passenger van when we were headed to Brushy Mountain Penitentiary, and everybody ordering just something off the wall, and Todd trying to repeat it through the drive-thru, and then we pull up to the window, and Todd looks up at the lady and says, "Help me."
It would have been like, I'm parking this van. All of y'all can go inside.
Yeah, get out. Starbucks is not like a McDonald's.
Yeah.
It gets crazy.
Right.
They do that and that because I'm a good driver too. I've avoided deer and horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wish I could say the same.
And you don't shit your pants either. That's
I was going to say, do you shit your pants while you're driving?
No.
I think the smell that everyone attributed to me shitting my pants was probably actually Todd's fault. Like Todd just stared straight down the road for a long time when all that conversation was going on and didn't say anything. Didn't deny it or anything for a long time.
Well, it could also be all that crazy ass coffee y'all are buying going through too. So,
Yeah.
see, exactly. I feel you there, Todd. So,
And Denise brings up a really good point too. I mean, whenever at least the four of us are together, Leanne, Denise, Ernie, and I, something weird always happens. Never fails. I mean, whether it be something in the paranormal or something in the normal.
Like a horse just standing in the middle of the road randomly.
Yeah,
at
we're, 4 o'clock in the morning. We leave Brushy Mountain. We're driving through the mountains of East Tennessee from Brushy, coming back to Gallatin, and we come around this curve. It is pitch black. I mean, and foggy. We come around this curve, and standing in the middle of the road is this black and tan horse, just standing there. I'm driving along this, all of a sudden just jerk the wheel and go around this horse, and the horse kind of looks up and goes, "Hey, what's up?" I think it was Denise was the first one that saw it and said, "What the?" And I think I forget the order of who it was. It was Denise, Leanne, and Beth had all seen this and made a comment, and then Ernie bounced his head off the side glass as I made the swerve. And then from the back of the bus, you hear animal. I think I just shat myself.
Yeah.
You got to watch them women because they do shat. I mean, look, Jackie and I, we have fart wars in Walmart all the time. We do. We go in there, she'll break wind on me and walk off. Don't say a word. And they're not like a man. I mean, man. I mean, a woman's like, and they're gone. And that's a foulest smelling thing. I mean, it's like Satan that walked in there and just put up a lawn chair and just made a house right there.
It's bad.
It is very bad. I know what they're capable of. And they blame you for it.
oh yeah.
Well,
You got sulfur ass.
Where were you when the deer jumped out in front of us?
Oh yeah, that was oh god, I think it was New Jersey.
Was it New Jersey?
I think we had just gotten into New Jersey.
Yeah, we come around another curve, and they've got those retaining walls on one side and then a guardrail on the other. Well, this deer walks out into the middle of the road and just stops. Come around the curve and stop in front of the deer, kind of pop the horn at him. The deer just looks up at us like, "What? What do you want me to do? I'm going to try to climb that wall right there." So I blew the horn at him again, and he turned around and started to walk off, and I kind of popped the horn again, and he tried to take off running, but slipped and fell and tripped over the guardrail.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. What's the craziest thing y'all ever done together as a paranormal investigator? What's the craziest things you've ever seen? Let's put it that way in as a group. Maybe y'all go Sasquatch.
Yeah, we've been Sasquatching. I'd have to say the craziest thing would be you, Denise, and Leanne seeing the lady at the end of the night.
Yeah. Yeah. We were getting ready to lock up for the night at Waverly last year after a public overnight. And Denise, Leanne, and myself were sweeping the upper floors. Todd was sweeping the lower floors. And I had gone down to one end of the hallway and was working my way back toward the middle stairwell. And Denise and Leanne are standing there by the stairwell. They're looking away from me down the hall. And I noticed there's a woman standing right outside a room, like 10 feet in front of them. But it wasn't a woman. You know what I'm saying? It was a
man. Oh.
And not a trans, not anything like that.
Oh damn!
It
just got real.
And they just keep walking toward it, and I can hear they're talking to her, and they just kept walking toward her, and she never moved. She just stood there, and I mean, they got like 5 feet from her, and I'm like, I don't know if they see her, because I mean, they're just walking down the hall right toward her, and I'm like, do you all see that? And they turn around and they're like, yes, and they look back, and she just kind of walks back into the room, and we all run up to that room and look in, and she's gone. But I mean, they were literally just about close enough they could have reached out and touched her, and she just stood there and looked at them. Todd and I, one night, we were going down to the second floor at Waverly, and we walked by Lois's room. And you want to talk about that, Todd?
Yeah, we walked off, and I'd had a kind of a cool experience in Lois's room earlier in the night. And, Ernie and I had separated, and he went on down, and as I was walking past Lois and Audrey's room, I looked, there was 2 chairs sitting in the corner of the room. And in those 2 chairs was a thin beam of blue light, one in each chair. That stopped me in my tracks, hollered for him, did you see that? And by the time I said that, gone. I think it was Lois and Audrey letting me see him for the first time.
Yeah.
It was
We have seen, like you said, we go out with Squatch Man a lot into the forest, and we have experienced the forest people. We were at Gates of Hell, Casey Cemetery, which is here in Kentucky. Really notorious place with all kinds of activity, everything from cryptids to UFOs to spirit activity. And we saw UFO activity that is undeniable.
right.
I mean, we've had some crazy experiences just in the 2 years that we've been hanging out. But I mean,
my
traveling to a lot of places too.
My first Squatch experience with Squatch Man. We're sitting at one of his campsites up there. I'm sitting kind of off away from the group, kind of relaxing a minute, kind of taking it all in. And Ernie and Squatch Man are, about 15, 20 yards in front of the rest of the group. Everybody else is kind of huddled up on a picnic table trying to stay warm. Well, I'm sitting there, and you hear Ernie, do you hear that? And then all of a sudden, through the trees, you kind of hear, and then all of a sudden, right here, wham! Somebody or something from the forest, from 50 yards away, had thrown something that hit right here next to my head.
Hit the cooler right behind Todd. Todd gets stuff thrown at him by the Bigfoot all the time.
Bigfoot is an asshole. You know that.
I get that. That happens to me a lot too.
I mean,
we had Mrs. Bigfoot on Holy Trinity, and she testified, yeah, he is an asshole.
Not only did that happen in the forest with Squatch Man, that happened when we were out at Casey Cemetery.
Yeah,
walking down the path, down the middle of the cemetery, stuff was being thrown through the trees into where I was walking.
Yeah. They don't like
that was
you,
Ernie
guys.
back there throwing stuff at you.
No, I was walking like 10 feet behind him.
What might have been Denise?
Ernie like a girl.
What was that UFO experience you were talking about?
We were at Casey Cemetery, and it was just kind of one of those. It was a very quiet, peaceful night, and very clear, kind of a cold night. And we got to looking up at the sky, just trying to pay attention to what was going on in the sky. And as we were looking, we kept seeing movement, and there was no way that it could have been an airplane, because it seemed to be like it was at such an altitude that it just couldn't be an airplane.
We thought satellite.
Maybe a
satellite.
But yes, Denise, I guess we were. But as we were watching these two lights in the sky. They were coming together, and then all of a sudden, just, one went right, one went left,
Oh wow.
and then 90-degree turns, not a
Were they clear or colored?
They were blue dots. But as they were watching,
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
There's always been some kind of correlation between Bigfoot and UFOs. They've been talking about that for a while now.
90-degree turns,
Were they clear or colored?
Hold on, that's me. That's me.
All right. All right. I was getting it.
And I was like, dang, I'm coming back for more.
You having recall or something like?
Yeah.
I've said this. I've heard this before.
Yes. Deja vu.
Now we've been other places together too. We went just kind of a weekend and went to was it Wynwood?
Yeah.
We went over to Wynwood, and they were expecting Ernie.
He's taking pride in this one. I don't know what.
Yes.
Because we go through this first part, and there was an area. There was a tour of kind of the kitchen or the summer kitchen kind of area. Wynwood is an old historical Civil War type plantation. But they had like the summer kitchen set up, and they had the kitchen roped off to where you couldn't go in. But you could see where they were making biscuits in this kitchen.
That's why
There
Ernie.
was fresh biscuits on the table, Todd. And it was roped
Was Ernie
off.
going and sticking his finger in the gravy?
It was roped off.
You don't let that little rope just stop you.
I try to
There it is
obey
again.
rules and stuff like that. But if they knew I was coming, I'm the biscuit guy. Take the damn rope down. Let me have a damn biscuit. But that's not the end of it. Go ahead, the Todd.
So he even got more excited as the night goes on. We go through and we're finishing the tour, and we go through one of the other rooms. It's like the main not a dining room, but like a living room or an area. And they started talking about funerals. They had the warming bench or the cooling bench, and where they would put the casket. And they had these napkins folded up on the table, and inside of each basket, for all the guests that came to visit the deceased, would get this napkin with a biscuit wrapped up in it.
Funeral biscuits.
Funeral biscuits.
Morning
These
biscuits.
are morning biscuits.
Yeah, morning biscuits.
is what they call them. Morning biscuits. And I'll take over the Todd. Okay. This guy, she was a lovely young lady telling this story. She knew all the details, and she's telling this damn story, and she's going on and on and on. And I'm like, okay, when do we get the damn biscuit? And she's like, you don't get a biscuit. I'm like, we came to the funeral. That's what this is all about.
The biscuits.
Where's my biscuit? She didn't give me a biscuit. Steve,
Backside biscuits.
But anyway, yeah, that's just nonsense. I mean, it's Wynwood.
You got no biscuit? You didn't get no biscuit?
Yeah, I didn't get a biscuit.
He was biscuit deprived.
I don't know if I'll go back to Wynwood ever again. There was a biscuit scented candle in the gift shop. Yes, there was. They were just teasing me all over with biscuits, and I never got a damn biscuit that night. I mean, we didn't even go to freaking Waffle House afterwards, for a
Waffle House.
biscuits they got. I mean, I didn't.
I'm gonna get that man some biscuits.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Was you upset?
I wasn't happy at all, Howard. I'll tell you. It's gonna take a while to get over that.
Somebody asked if we have any exciting investigations planned. I'm sure us as the Well, Wicked Wolfpack will probably have something planned before the end of the year.
Yeah.
If it's not, if nothing else, it's small.
We've
That is Dana Lynn Kadek. Is that how I'm saying? Is that her name?
Dana.
Yeah, that's who's the mysterious user right now.
okay.
Must be on face.
Yeah, Denise got sick last week and ended up having to cook for Ernie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for COVID. I finally got some damn homemade biscuits.
Daddy, you got some sexy lingerie.
Yeah. Dinosaur lingerie. Y'all saw that video, didn't you?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
This is my life, y'all.
Getting biscuits.
No, Dana, we have been we try to get out as much as we can as a group. I mean, not only Denise and I as Pac-Man Paranormal, but we try to join up with the Todd and Leanne and the Black Wolf and Beth, the Wicked Woman. We try to join up and get out as much as we can. Pretty much since September, I guess, all of our paranormal time has been devoted to Save Waverly Hills events. We've hosted a couple of fundraiser investigations, public investigations to raise funds for Charlie's legal defense. At the one at the Roz Opera House, which went to the Roz Opera House the week before that public event with just Todd and Leanne. It was just the three of us that had the whole place to ourselves that night. And I had one of those moments that almost made me drop a Reese's. Todd, you can talk about it if you want.
Well, I mean, the night that we went the week before the event, just to kind of check everything out. And I think I've said it before, weird things happen when we're together. So he screamed like a girl.
It was a war cry. Steve said it. It was a Cherokee war cry.
Was he there?
No, but he heard it.
I think it's more of that. I mean,
He was at the public event.
Do what? He was at the public. Okay, but we were actually upstairs at Ross, sitting in the balcony, and as you come through the door, about 2 or 3 rows down on the end row, Ernie took a seat. Leanne went down to the front of the balcony and took a seat, and I went to the far left side, all the way down and took a seat. And as we're sitting there, it's just quiet and peaceful. And all of a sudden, you could feel kind of a change in the air. And, Leanne made a comment. It's like, do you feel that or something like that? Ernie was kind of like, yeah, it feels kind of, holy shit! That's a war cry.
Yeah.
And it's like,
He said he screamed like a girl.
Yeah, it was.
No. Now that was a Cherokee war cry.
But in that process, in the dark, in the pitch black, Leanne made it all the way across all the rows of seats right next to me. Then we turn around and we're looking up at Ernie like, what happened? And Ernie is just as white as he can be, kind of glowing in the darkness. And as he's sitting there, you hear the door behind him. You hear it open and then close. Mind you, we're the only 3 in the building. Then we asked him to explain what happened, and go ahead.
Okay. We had been down in the main part of the theater earlier, and we had we'd been told that if you whistle a lot of times, they'll whistle back, And we had all this equipment sitting out on the stage, so I whistled. And then the equipment started going off after I whistled. And like Todd said, when we were up there in the balcony, we sat there and it was just real calm and peaceful for a long time. And then if you've been on investigations, you know what I'm saying, where you can just feel the energy building and things ramping up, like something's getting ready to happen. We could all sense that. And so I went, and Leanne said, y'all feel that? And I said, yeah. And I look over, I just, kind of look to my right just a little, and clear as a bell, right here where I could have reached out and put my hand on her hip, there's a woman in a white dress right there. I mean, right there. Clear as a bell. And I just kind of look over and go, no, Jesus. Because it was just the three of us and that was one of the claims of the place, is that they see this woman in white and oftentimes up there on that balcony. And yeah, she just happened to show herself right there next to me. And like they said, when I jumped back, I mean, she kind of faded, but there was like, I don't know, like sparkles still there. It's hard to explain.
Right,
Like little points of light were still there.
I call them fireflies.
I'm
I
just
mean,
sitting
that's
there
what they look
looking.
like.
And this is when Todd and Leanne turned and looked at me like, what happened? What happened? And I see it kind of move toward the door. The door opens and then closes. And I'm like, did you see this shit? And yeah, Denise, we had something go backstage the following weekend on the public event. Denise chased after it. But I mean, we had that night that it was just the three of us there. We had several different experiences. We caught something on video that we can't really explain. It's a night vision camera that is it night vision or is it full spectrum?
Full spectrum.
Okay, full spectrum camera. You know how full spectrum camera gives that kind of reddish aura on screen? Pinkish, purplish, reddish, whatever it is. Okay, somehow, and we sent this to Brandon out to look at himself, and he can't explain. Somehow we caught a blue, like a triangle that comes across the screen, and I don't know what the hell that was. But if you go to the Ross Opera House website, the same place that camera was sitting, they've got one of the best videos of a full-bodied apparition walking across right there that you'll ever see anywhere. So we put our camera right in that same location, just to see what we could catch, or Todd put his camera there, and that's what we caught that night. But
That's cool.
yeah, that's a place that it's little known in the paranormal community. It's pretty well known around Kentucky as being really haunted, but the paranormal community as a whole, you don't hear a lot about the Ross Opera House. But if you're ever out in this part of the country, check it out. It's very affordable. I think it's $300 for the night for up to like 10 people, and they give you like 12 hours.
There's a lot of crazy people in Kentucky, though. I'm glad I don't live in one of those states with crazy people in it.
Oh yeah, you live in a great state with nobody crazy.
Yeah, you never hear
Florida
crazy
man
stuff.
does this. Florida man does that. Come on, dude. Your state is known for stupid shit.
Yeah, he is the Florida man.
Yeah. Every time I see that headline, I'm like, what did Chad do now?
Right? Me too.
Somebody said hello to us on here, Ernie.
Hey, it's Zoe. Hey, Zoe. 9
Hello,
o'clock,
Zoe.
you should be in bed.
Greg
I got
Ghost
another
said,
podcast I got to be on in like 45 minutes. So
Greg Yost is the Facebook user that said hello, Todd and Ernie.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. That's our other brother up there.
who is that? Oh,
Greg
Greg Yost. That's Squatch Man.
Scotchman.
That is Squatch Man.
Who are you
Greg-
talking about?
Greg
Captain
Yost.
Jack's down there, Squatch Woman, so
Yeah, I am.
sometimes she's Squatch Man too.
Seriously, I know you are a Bigfoot researcher.
Mhm.
That's your main thing. You need to contact Greg Yost. That man has the connection with the forest people.
It says you're friends with him, Jackie.
Unlike anybody
I
else.
am. We've talked before. Him and I have talked before.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
We were out in the woods with him last weekend. In fact,
I told him I'll go. Well, let's go.
well, get your butt on out here. I'm telling you, you will have an experience.
Well, I've been doing this since I was 4. I've had a lot of experiences, and I've been to every state. I've done every single state. The only state that I didn't actually go look for Bigfoot was when I was in Hawaii, because they said it just doesn't exist.
There's a lot
Or
of mountains
snakes.
there.
I think Leanne and I in
There's
July are
no
going
snakes in
to.
Hawaii either. I heard.
That's what they said. We don't have Bigfoot and we don't have snakes.
The only
My
states
brother
that have
lives
in
in
Hawaii
Hawaii.
are usually around the shipping yards. But Leanne and I are going to the Bigfoot convention in Gatlinburg in July, I believe it is.
Oh, I went to
We might be
Gatlinburg
joining you for
several
that,
years
to be
ago.
honest.
Do what?
I went there several years ago. It's a cool place. It's a lot of fun.
I've been to Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
A lot of
Love
mountains.
the woods out there.
I ain't never been hardly anywhere. So
Come on, Chad. Pack your bag. Let's start going on some trips. Kim, pack your bag. Let's start going on some trips.
Why are you trying to talk to me?
Bring your kids. Have your kids go out and look.
I'm gonna drop my son off with you.
Me.
Yeah, I'll let you take care of him for his crazy ass.
Your kid will come back Bigfoot expert.
So
Good.
where are you located?
I live in California.
Oh, okay.
San Diego's.
San Diego.
So the only state she's been traveling to isn't really a state; it's like a city that she's got a tunnel to called Tijuana.
Tijuana and back. I take the tunnel
Yeah,
until we got busted a couple weeks ago.
I was waiting for you to be in jail for that.
She's got the hookup on the Mexican Viagra.
I wasn't in the tunnel that day.
You kept on talking about the San Diego cartel, and then like I see a tunnel busted, and I'm like, Jax has been saying all this stuff online.
I
I'm waiting for them to just for the whatever the DEA just to bust down her
The
door.
DEA was listening.
Yeah,
You know,
They got
Bear's nothing we
busted.
need to get her in touch with.
Yeah, Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry Gaunt.
Are
Do
you
know
familiar with Barry Gaunt?
Do what?
Are you familiar with Barry Gaunt?
I can barely hear you.
Are you familiar with Barry Gaunt?
Heard of.
He's part of the Night Stalkers and has a lot to do with Octagon Hall up in Franklin, Kentucky. And that area up there has a lot of cryptic activity, paranormal activity, and a lot of ufology going on, all in
Yeah.
that one site.
Get him in touch with me.
And
I'd love to go out there. I haven't been out there in a while. I flew out there last year and I drove all the way started in Mississippi and I drove all up and down, all the way across the country to different sites looking for Bigfoot. Camping.
she wanted to go in a straight line, but she was lost.
No, I had certain spots I had to hit. So my plan was like all over. Yeah, I went everywhere from like literally Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, you name it. I was Colorado down. I went everywhere. It was a great trip. Actually, some of the best evidence I've ever found is in Northern California in the exact same spot where the Patterson-Gimlin famous film is. Hi, David. And that's some of the best evidence I've ever found.
What'd you find?
Well, I actually found footprints. Like, you know how they do, okay, you know the nests that obviously they make, but then they have the actual tree structures. It was some of the largest. I mean, it was like an entire area. It wasn't just like one thing. It was like an entire, like probably solid mile of constant tree structures and things that like obviously no man could ever make. And they were so high up above me. I actually have pictures on my Facebook and my Instagram where I'm standing underneath it. And the thing is so far above me where it like intertwines through trees, goes up, snaps in half, comes back down and then intertwines through other trees. And this went on and on and on and on all throughout this whole area that I was in. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
the
insane.
tree structures are something that, I mean, if you had never seen one, you know, stood there and looked at one and how it's constructed,
Absolutely.
you can't appreciate it. But
it's hard to even make people understand how crazy it is to stand there and know that you're probably standing in the exact same spot that a Bigfoot stood and created these things, because every single thing we found were like A-framed X's, you know, intertwined through trees. I mean, it was mind-blowing. The best of any place I've ever been.
Yeah.
Loved it. I'd love to go back, but last time I went was in February and it was absolutely freezing. So I want to go back in the summer.
So it can be absolutely scorching.
Yeah.
Do what?
So it can be 1,000 degrees.
Well, in Northern California, when you're up in the woods, it's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really nice weather. But I'd rather it be warm than be freezing my butt off. Because when I went up, it was like 4 degrees. Literally freezing.
Literally.
Okay, I'll show you the pics, David. Mind-blowing pics. I should take David up there. David, come go squatching with me.
Bring some ribs.
Yep.
Yeah, David, let's barbecue ribs out there. Hey, last time I was up there, I was grilling up like chicken fajitas in the woods. I was going all out. I wanted to bring in all the smells and like try to get them out and see how far out I could like get the scent out. Of course, you know I peed on everything.
Filled Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Todd, you want to talk about that, or you want me to tell them?
Bring it all.
Go ahead. I mean, it's peanut butter and crackers and cherry pies.
Yeah.
And
like for gifting.
Yes. We took. Okay. Greg Yost, Squatchman, he says that they like raspberry-filled Krispy Kreme donuts. He said he's gifted them all kinds of things, but they seem partial to the raspberry-filled Krispy Kreme donuts.
Mm.
One night, we, spur of the moment, decided to go to the woods. We stopped at Kroger. They didn't have raspberry-filled Krispy Kreme donuts. There wasn't a Krispy Kreme anywhere around. That was the only place to get Krispy Kreme donuts was Kroger, but all they had was the assorted flavors. We take it, put it on the gifting stump, go out, do our thing, come back, check the gifting stump a couple hours later. There's a slit in the top of the box, and you can see a big fingerprint stuck in one of the donuts and smeared across it. And that's it. We come back.
Was it a maple? Was it a maple that it smeared?
Yeah, it was strawberry icing.
Yeah, strawberry. Yeah. So we come back a little bit later. One donut is missing. Oh, wait a minute. The first time we come back, the box had not been opened. There was no slit in it. Am I right? How was it? Because I know that at one point there was a finger smeared across one. Another time the box had been opened and one donut was gone.
I think that was 2 different occasions.
Was it 2 different occasions? Okay.
Todd, when this happened, did Ernie have strawberry smeared across his face?
Under his fingernail.
That's what I was wondering, because Todd already talked about how Ernie liked to go and stick his finger like that into the gravy. So
yeah,
that's just gravy.
Great.
My bowl of gravy. Now, the first time we went out, we did the donuts, and it was actually just glazed donuts in that one. And you could see, and this was funny thing about it, you could see where, you know how they got the little round tape thing on the box to keep the box taped closed? That was cut perfectly. The box was opened, one donut was removed, and the box was closed.
Oh wow.
The next time we came out, we set the assorted out there, and it had a cut in the top of the plastic. It wasn't open, it wasn't cut any other way, just across the top, and had that finger smear down into the donut.
Yeah, did you guys happen to set out a trail cam to watch it?
They don't show up for trail cams. You will
Greg
have
does
to
not.
there.
Greg, if Greg catches you putting a trail cam in his area of the woods, he won't invite you back.
Oh.
He's built a trust with them by not doing that.
Mm.
And that's why you have so much activity when you go out with Greg, that he doesn't want to violate that trust. I mean, he, you know.
Yeah, you have to respect other people's feelings on how they do it. Everybody does it differently, so.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
people that think of Bigfoot as a flesh and blood animal have not experienced what we've experienced in the woods. That's all I can say.
Mm.
They are far more than a flesh and blood animal. And they no.
What he said?
No, he doesn't eat them.
Greg must love it. I love me some donuts, David.
But
So see, is what happened
They,
was Chrissy was out there in the same place, and I mean not Chrissy, Jax was out there in the same place, and Jax was still in the damn donut.
I would have ate that damn donut. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
And peeing all
So
over the
when
place.
were you
so.
in Indiana?
Eat on the rest.
Yeah.
There'd been another story if it was biscuits out in them woods.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been another story.
Bring a bag
I've
of
been
biscuits.
fighting a squatch over
The biscuits wouldn't have made it to the gifting stump.
Well, they might have made it to the gifting stump. I just probably wouldn't have left the gifting stump when everybody else did.
In secondhand biscuit stump.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. That'd be a hard thing for me to leave behind is donuts.
It seems to be one of the best things that we get. I mean, they've gotten to where they'll take a little bit of everything, and it's not like a raccoon would do, where like, you know, because we'll leave things like still in the wrapper and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And you know, a raccoon would just, you know, chew the wrapper all to pieces, and there'd be debris laying everywhere.
Yeah. They make a hot mess.
Yeah. No, these things are opened like a human would open them, and like granola bar, for example, they'll pull it out, set the package back down on the gifting stump, and the granola bar be gone, just like a person took it.
Yeah, I've been leaving gifts for years, and I've even left like a line, literally like these little bitty baby toy dinosaurs, a whole line of them. And I come back and only one dinosaur out of the whole line's missing. And I look everywhere and you cannot find it. It's like they came over and picked the one they liked and took off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Raccoons are scary. Jack, you like run some damn things over.
Oh, Ernie's got some good raccoon stories.
I got a lot of raccoon stories. Squatch Man has put like these glow stones out like in patterns on the stump, you know, on the gifting stump, like a heart or something like that. We'll go out, we'll come back, it'd be rearranged into a cross or, you know, an X or whatever.
I've had that done. I've had that exact same thing happen where you leave something in a certain way and you come back and they've made it a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had the same thing.
They're very
Matter
intelligent.
of fact, speaking of that, let's see, what do I have here? Let's see.
Ernie is the coon whisperer. That's why I like Ernie so much, because I'm a coon ass.
Can you see these little, I don't know if you can tell these little tiny hearts. Can you see those?
Yeah.
I left these out there with other things, and these were the only things they decided to take.
Yeah.
Were these heart-shaped stones.
Yeah.
How'd
Yeah,
you get
it
'em
was
back
really
then?
interesting. Huh?
How'd you get them back then?
How did I get them like that?
How you got them back?
No, how'd you get them back? You said those are the only things that they took, but now you've got them.
No. I have a whole bunch of them, but I always take interesting shaped things because I want this to look like it's a natural stone, yet it has unique look to it. So I want it to be like they look at it and realize it's something natural, but yet it's different. And then they'll always take them. I come back and they're always gone.
Yeah. Todd was just showing a picture of the glazed donuts that were
Oh.
where they just took the one out of there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bye, David.
There were 4 in there.
Oh, wow.
One-
Oh, it's in plastic. It's not even
Yeah.
like a
and
box.
closed it back
Plastic.
up.
And then, that was kind of
Is that the donut?
that was on the ground next to it. So
Yeah.
Tasted it and didn't care for it.
Yeah, it wasn't raspberry filled.
Wow.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you think about the raspberry field, the raspberry probably tastes like berries. They
Yeah.
probably have berries out there that taste like the berries. So it's because like I do the same thing you guys do. I take like the cherry pies and the things that have like the more natural woodsy flavor.
Right.
And I do the same thing. And when I come back, stuff will be missing. Granola bars, cherry pies, all kinds of stuff. And I'll leave them all over the place.
Berries.
Yeah,
anytime
berries. I always take berries, granola, berries.
yeah, that was another setup we had out there one night where we had some pies and some other donuts.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys always leave them in the wrapper or do you ever take them out?
Most of the time we leave them in the wrapper, but here is the bag of peanut butter and crackers. I don't know if it'll focus in on that any better. But you can see where the bag was cut, not torn. Where it was cut.
Like they took a fingernail.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And that's actually laying on the ground next to the stuff.
That's really cool. How long have you guys been doing that?
Thank you,
Well,
David.
we
Sure will.
started going out with Squatch Man, about, I don't know, year and a half ago, something like that. And we go probably, once every couple of months or so at least with Squatch Man.
And where do you usually go?
Southern Indiana. We got a couple spots in Kentucky we go to as well, but usually when we go with him, I guess it's been 2 years, Denise, you're right. Yeah, Denise and I have been going with Squatch Man for about 2 years. We met him, we were doing a live stream, and he was one of we did a live stream that was Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot. Where we were going, because Denise and I, our first experience, we were actually ghost hunting in a cemetery, and we were not Bigfoot believers.
Oh, wow.
But a Bigfoot came and interrupted our ghost hunt. And so we had told that story. What's that?
And Denise chased him.
Yeah, Denise chased him. And we had told that story on a podcast and wound up getting invited to do a live stream for an individual I won't promote by saying her name. And she had sent Greg to go as the Bigfoot expert. We were going to go do our thing as ghost hunters. He was going to do the Bigfoot thing and see if we could have the interaction. And that was the first time we had gone out with him. And we had some crazy experiences. The most epic encounter ever actually happened on the last day of that 4-day live stream. I do not run from anything.
He's calling you out.
Yeah, no kidding.
not
She's
running
owning
from
it.
anything.
Yeah.
Ernie, I've been out there by myself at times and I won't even run.
I don't run. I did take a defensive posture with the 45 drawn one time because there was something very big running up the hill directly at us through the woods in the dark, and it was not stopping. It was just running toward us. It was on 2 legs. You could tell it was, You know, it wasn't a deer bounding or anything like that.
Mhm.
This was big and heavy and coming up the hill toward us, and I couldn't see it. I stepped back and pulled the 45 and did this, and I look, and dumbass Denise is running down the hill toward it,
Oh,
looking at me, going, "What's wrong with you? This is what we came for." And I'm like, "That thing is big, dumbass."
oh.
I love you, Hannah.
Well, listen, I mean,
You know?
I want to see it as bad as you guys do, but you got to be smart about it. And if it's running towards you, you may not want to run towards it.
I mean, I don't.
That thing
don't
could
know
kill
what
you
the
in a heartbeat.
intentions are. Yeah, they're huge.
It'll
I've
snap
seen
you
what
like
they
a
can do to
twig.
trees. You know, I mean, big trees. They can. I mean, the most epic encounter that I've had with Bigfoot. Denise was there. Denise's daughter was there. We were in the woods with Squash, and it was on the last day of that 4-day live stream that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on a break from the live stream, of course, when this happened. And Greg was getting ready to move to Washington State. And he thought that he might never get back to that part of the forest again, you know, because he's moving across the country. He might never get to interact with those forest people again. So he talks to them. And that's how he gets interaction, and it works. It might sound crazy to people that have never experienced it, but it works. And he walked out there in the woods, and he raised his hands up, and he said, "My friends, this might be my last time out here with you. I'd love for you to show your power. Do something epic for my friends here. I'd love to experience what you can show me." And we all just kind of look at him like he's crazy because, you know, this was the first time we'd experienced him doing this, you know. And we kind of step back and watch like, okay. And I'm telling you, 30 seconds later, a tree falls across the road. Back across the road from where we were at, maybe 200 yards away. Well, then another one comes down over this way. Then another one. 8 trees, big trees, start just all around us. And we're like, what the hell is going on? And, you know, so it finally stops. And, you know, we're all a little bit shook. Even Greg, you know, we're like, whoa, what just happened? Because, you know, there wasn't a storm. There was no wind. There was no reason for all this to be going on. And, Denise starts walking up the road, and she says, "Here's one of the trees." And it had fallen across the road and wedged in another tree where it was, you know, still like there was like an arch over the road. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where the tree was across the road like that. You could walk up under it. And we're looking at it like, holy shit, that's a big tree. How did that come down? You know, why we're looking at the root wad and everything, like, you know, the roots aren't rotten. This is a healthy tree. Why did this happen? And we're trying to figure it out, trying to scientifically debunk that it was pushed over by a Sasquatch, right? And so it starts to sprinkle a little bit. Well, Denise and her daughter go and get in the van. Greg and I are standing behind the van, smoking a cigarette and just talking about this like, wow, you know, I can't believe it. And we start hearing shh, 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 shh. And I look up, and that tree that the other one is leaning in, you can see the top of it going back and forth.
Mm.
You look about halfway down, and there's this huge mass up in the tree. It's just shaking it like crazy. And we're like, what the? And I start beating on the back of the van, you know, for Denise and her daughter to come out. I'm like, look at this, look at this. They jump out of the van. About that time, the other branch breaks, and that tree that was wedged finally falls, you know, crashes to the ground. I mean, huge noise, big thud on there. I mean, you could feel it. You know, it was a big tree. And we're just like 50 feet away. When it falls to the ground, that thing that's up in the tree, the Bigfoot, jumped down from about 20, 25 feet up in the tree. It just jumped, boom, and runs off into the woods away from us.
Wow.
And we watched it. And we're like, what?
Wow.
You know, I mean, never had anything like that happen to me in my life. Never was a big Bigfoot believer.
Mhm.
But that happened. We go over there. We see on the ground where it jumped down, 2 huge footprints. I mean, huge footprints where it jumped down, and you can see where it went through the woods away from us. And you could actually see claw marks on the tree where it climbed up that other tree to shake it, you know, to break the other one. I guess he came back and finished the job. He wanted that tree all the way down. You know, he didn't want it wet. And it served another purpose. That's a one-way road that goes through the forest there, and it blocked the road. Basically locked us in.
It sure did.
We couldn't. We had to break the law and go the other way to get out, you know.
Wow.
And it's a one-lane road that goes winding back through, way back through this forest. So, you know, you come around a corner and somebody's coming the other way at 50 miles an hour, you're a dead man. I mean, it was just a crazy, crazy epic
Wow. What an amazing experience, though.
night. Yeah, it was awesome.
So I'm guessing you're a total believer now.
Absolutely. It wasn't long after that we called the Todd and Leanne and said, "You got to come up here. You got to see this shit."
Oh yeah.
That was up in Washington?
No, that was in Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. You know what's funny is a lot of people from Indiana reach out to me and they'll say, "Oh my God, you've got to come up here." Like I have something literally coming into my backyard.
Yeah.
And that's probably like one of the number one places people will reach out to me from is Indiana. I get it a lot.
Yeah, and you know, it's not one of the places you would think of as Bigfoot territory.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
But
that
there are a
corn up there,
lot of
they-
forests in Indiana. You know, Hoosier National Forest is one of the largest forests in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right in the middle of Indiana. You know, the forest that we go to is not that forest, but it's another large forest that's, you know, virgin and wildlife preserve and all of that. You know, it's protected area.
Yeah.
There's
I definitely
all
want to
that
go
corn.
out.
That's what it is. It's because all that freaking corn out there.
That's Iowa.
I don't know, but
Well, if you get a hold of him, tell him I want to go.
well, talk to Greg. You said you got him on your friends list. Talk to
Yeah,
him.
I've talked to him before. I'll talk to him.
He'll take anybody out there. He's
I don't know if he's still on here or not.
he's one of the nicest people you'll ever
Well, if you're
meet.
on here watching, I want to go with you.
I'll talk. I'll let him know. I promise you, he's one of the nicest people you'll have a good time.
Come on up. Somebody will take you out there with him.
Yep.
Just
I've
make
got
sure-
people messaging me all the time saying, "Come up, you can stay here. Come up." All the time. And people are very nice up
There
there.
he is. Come see me.
Yeah, there he is.
Yep.
I want to go.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that's the man. You need to sit down and talk to him about philosophy on Bigfoot and everything too. And I mean,
yeah. This
He's
is
got a
something that I
relationship
grew up
with
with. So since I was 4 years old, it's been part of my world.
Yep.
That's the first time my family took me out.
Yep. It's an experience to go out with him. I mean, it's just it's unreal, to be honest.
I mean, it's kind of one of the cool things that we've done when we've gone out with him is, you know, we've done his way of doing the Squatch thing, and we've also introduced some of our paranormal equipment out there just to see how well they interact. And you'd be surprised
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
with some of the interaction that we've had. So
Well, they're just as curious.
Yeah. And they're very high energy beings.
Yes,
And
they are.
things like REM pods and millimeters and things that pick up on energy,
Yes.
pick up on their energy.
Well, that's why they know we're there before we realize anything. They
Exactly.
know we're there. I mean, we're filled with energy.
That's why they know when you got a infrared camera
They
or
know.
a thermal camera out there.
They see us We may not see them, but they know we're there. They see us.
Yep,
They know we're there.
I
absolutely.
guess they're
Way
different.
before we're there.
I guess they're different because in different areas. Because down here we don't have we have a Bigfoot type creature here, and it's in the Honey Island Swamps, the Honey Island Swamp Monster. And I've seen castings where instead of just the typical Bigfoot, this Bigfoot has webbed feet for some reason,
Yeah.
and it's got claws, and you can see the actual claws how they actually puncture into the dirt. And I mean, this is a huge castings that I'm looking at too. So I mean, and one thing they don't like is the feral pigs. They just go on a killing spree. They just kill pigs. They don't eat them. They just kill them.
Tear them apart.
Yep.
Well, it's time for me to go. Eileen's here.
Denise is asking if you
Late
like
to the
sausage,
party.
or if do you smell like sausage?
What?
I
I
know.
do smell like sausage.
Ernie.
What the hell you got yourself into with
You
sausage?
got biscuits and sausage now.
And Reese's.
For Father's Day, my Father's Day gift was a bottle of Sauvage, which is spelled Sauvage.
Yeah, Johnny Depp promotes.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, and so I say I got to spray my sausage smell on me.
Which
You know,
reminds
so
me,
I
I'm
know
having a
exactly
mega
like
pint tonight.
Isn't that like
What's-
your third one?
Mega pint, yes.
Mega pint.
She's having a bottle of just the tipsy.
I got to go refill mine.
Mega pint of wine.
Ernie's drinking a Coke.
Before we get too far, I want to tell Chad happy birthday because I didn't get a chance to tell you to your face. And I know mine and
Sent you a message, and it was like one of the only people that posted before you pretty much on my Facebook page was like Nikki from Australia, which it was actually my birthday there before it was my birthday here. And then like somebody else from Australia, and then somebody from the UK. So
I didn't forget you.
I know.
God.
Thank you very much.
What do you think about this, Ernie? I mean, when Denise
we
drinks,
have-
Roger shows Todd's balls.
I will tell the story, but I just want to point this out. We have managed to keep this train on the tracks for an hour and a half. And here we go off the rails now with Denise.
And the
I just
Todd
thought
brought
that
it
was
out.
funny because Ernie started out with that, like, I will tell the story, but, you know.
Okay, Denise and I went to have pizza at the local pizza place over here, Bonnie and Clyde's Pizza. If you ever come to Louisville, Kentucky, you got to eat at Bonnie and Clyde's Pizza. It's amazing. Got a pitcher of beer. I think Denise drank a half a beer out of that pitcher and was hammered. We had a cat that we were not sure for a long time if it was a boy cat or a girl cat because its balls had not dropped yet. It was a kitten. Okay. So we thought it was a girl. Well, we had just determined just prior to this trip to the pizza joint that no, it's a boy. It has balls. Okay. So Denise gets hammered. We come home. I called the Todd. We're having a conversation. Todd, do you want to talk about what Denise had to say?
No, go ahead. You got this.
I got this. Okay.
No, go ahead.
Me and Todd are having an adult conversation, and in the background, Todd can hear, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty." And I turn the phone around where he can see Denise is crawling around on the bedroom floor, trying to get the cat to come out from under the bed. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she sticks her head up, looks at the phone, and says, "I just want to show the cat Todd's balls."
Yeah, we got to put that up on the big screen.
Uh-oh. What are we looking at here? Kitty, kitty. Uh-oh.
That is Denise and her 2 daughters trying to tell if the cat is a boy or a girl.
Poor cat don't know what the hell to do. Look at it. It's all
The cat
upside
is
down,
upside
tail up in the
down.
air.
He's upside down with 3 women looking at his balls. Eileen, you're fired.
Isn't that every man's dream?
I guess. I don't know.
Hold me
I don't-
upside down and look at my balls? No, I don't think so.
I don't want you looking at them.
Why is Eileen not barred from here? She should be barred.
We'd love her.
Yeah, I get to spend
Oh,
2 nights with her in a couple weeks.
Oh God, she's on a roll too.
Eileen.
Eileen, we kind of got on semi-friendly terms for a little while. Semi-friendly terms for a little while, but you've done blown it now.
Yeah, I get 2 nights with Eileen in
Usually
2 weeks.
blowing it.
You get 2 nights with Eileen, huh?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you.
I don't know about you guys, but I've actually heard stories of some people who say they've seen Bigfoot with a full erection. And the women, like the female Bigfoot, like they can tell she has breasts. Like, yeah, it's interesting.
Well, you can tell that Patty has breasts in that Patterson Gimlin footage. You can tell she has breasts.
Mhm.
Howard's just giggling. See, we were talking science here. We're talking anatomy and science, and Howard's over
This
giggling.
is a true story, Howard.
Some of the funniest things come out of true stories.
Yeah, they do.
Well, a lot of crazy things happen when you're Bigfooting. And I don't know who, I'm guessing that's Greg that wrote, that's my life. That's my life, Greg.
I don't know. It didn't come up here on
Bigfoot is
Howard.
my life.
It didn't show it on Howard's stream that was him saying it's my life. Unless
I don't know who that was. I just saw it.
I would say it's probably Greg that said it because I know that is
I mean,
his
it
life.
sounds like
Yeah,
from what
it
you
was.
said, it sounds like him.
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna
do.
pull
I
it
do more Bigfooting
pretty
than
much
I do
every day.
anything.
He's out there pretty much every day.
No, I can't say that. No. I think you do more rodeoing.
She's up here reminding you.
Rodeoing?
Who does
My secretary
rodeoing?
is reminding me I have another podcast
Me?
in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's past your bedtime, Dad.
This next podcast will go on till 1 a.m. and then I got to be on the radio at 10:30 in the morning.
Woo!
It sucks being famous, I'll tell you.
Well, be gone. The Todd's already out. He's checked out mentally. He's like, no. You want to talk about it? No. You want to tell a story? No.
I mean,
Well, I
Eileen's
just
giving
know
up
what-
people's houses, and if she's giving up people's beds,
I just know where those stories end up.
Howard and Chad need to go Bigfooting.
why?
You would love it.
Been in the woods before.
I got a creek we could go on. There's a lot of gators on it though, or a spring. It's where they filmed Tarzan, the TV show.
But we already know they exist. You've seen those. You want to go out and find evidence of something like
That's not supposed to exist.
that's not supposed to exist. Exactly, Ernie. And when you do, it changes everything.
If it's
Your
my
whole
luck and I go into the
thinking.
woods, bigfooting
It
or
opens your
squatching,
mind.
Literally
so much
opens your
more.
mind, does it not, Ernie?
It
if
does.
I go
Right.
squatching,
What?
squatching, my luck, I'll come back with West Nile.
With West Nile.
Well, don't go
Or
to the
your
swamp, Howard.
ass looking like a solo cup, one of the two.
Well, see, Howard went out to Bourbon or to wherever y'all went out to that y'all were like trying to hump horses and stuff at Howard's wedding.
What? What? What?
It was Bourbon Street or the French Quarter, and I heard there's people out there that are women that have penises, so that's not supposed to exist either, but it's there. So
Oh no.
That
Those
exists.
exist. We
That
saw
exists.
That is a real
watching.
live thing happening.
I can confirm that. That's a true story.
That is a true story.
Yeah, I know that's a true story.
What's up, Lynn? I'm about to go get me something to drink and then get ready for our show here in just a minute, bub.
And a biscuit.
And a biscuit.
With his sausage cologne.
That's right. I got my sausage cologne. I smell good. Y'all can't. Too bad this isn't smell-o-vision.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
wait a minute.
Good,
I
right?
always say that too, because I always wear perfume before the show, and then I think, why the hell do I do that?
I've got my sausage on.
So,
So
and
Todd
I'm
has
always
a
wearing
long story?
juicy.
I always let out a big good fart before the show. And my
Which I'm
farts
sure Kim loves.
don't farts part of pheromones?
Ask David Omen. I don't fart. I fluff.
My farts smell like roses, so
I said that at his house, and he thought he heard a ghost saying, I don't work. I was like, that's not a ghost saying I don't work. That was me saying I don't fart. He was so disappointed.
Beth Allen made an appearance. Love you, Beth.
Love you, sister.
hey Beth. No smell-o-vision, you need to update.
Well, if you guys plan like a big trip out somewhere Bigfooting and you want somebody good to go with you, call me.
Well,
I know some
like I
panties
said,
down in the
we're
walls that got some big
I
feet.
mean, Todd and Leanne are coming up this weekend. We might wind up in the woods Saturday night. Tomorrow. Yeah, day after tomorrow.
You're in Indiana?
Yep.
It's a little far for me.
If she
4
flew
hours
out there, it'd be
plane.
like $3,500 for a plane ticket.
My God, I'm telling you, the plane
Just to get
tickets
out
right
of-
now are absurd.
That's just to get out
Drive
of
to Vegas
California.
and then fly Spirit. You can fly to Louisville nonstop for like $99.
I'm looking for a new place to live right now. So as soon as I spend my $12,000 moving in, I'll come.
Okay.
Because honestly,
You're
God,
still-
it's ridiculous where I live to move
You're
into a
still,
new place.
that's because you're still
12,000.
Out of where you live.
California.
You
There's-
can't get a
there's plenty
place
of
down
places-
here for less than like $3,000 to $4,000 a month just for a tiny little place. It's absurd.
There's plenty of places on this side of the Mississippi that are a lot cheaper. Just saying.
Yeah, I even live in Florida, and it's
No,
I
Down
work
south.
for the California government.
And down south. You can work
I
for the government from
did
somewhere
live
else.
down there. I used to live down there, but now I live
know.
here. But I work for the California government, so
And you can still work from anywhere.
I can't. I'm legally
me that
bound
over.
here 4 more years.
Tell me you've got COVID.
Tell me I have COVID. I get COVID like every other week. Like, what was that? Someone's planning a trip calling. I have COVID. I'm going to need the next 2 weeks off.
I got
That worked for a while.
I got hemorrhoids. Can't come in for at least a month.
Oh,
You're
I
right.
got to get off of here
Off
so that I
until
can
they
get me
do.
a drink and get ready for this show with Lynn. But I appreciate you letting us come on, or letting me come on. I can't speak for the Todd because he's his own man. He's the Todd. But
He is the
always
Todd.
have a good time on here, Howard. Chad, Jax, it's always a good time talking to y'all.
Thanks,
Y'all
Ernie.
keep doing what you do. Be
Yeah,
good to
we
each
make
other.
We'll cut it
Everybody
short.
bye,
take care.
guys.
Thank you, Ernie.
Y'all take care.
See you later, Todd.
Oh no. All
I
right.
don't know if
Todd, I
Todd's
heard
going
you
on.
got a New Orleans story. What's your New Orleans story?
It was a first trip to Mardi Gras several years ago. We landed in Mississippi and drove down for Fat Tuesday. I guess that's the last night of Mardi Gras. And we started at one end and walked all the way to the other end of the main drag there. I guess it's Bourbon Street.
Urban Street.
You know, as we get there, I think we walked in and it kind of seemed like everything was kind of high class, you know, people dressed really nice, the high class type folks, money people. we go down a little bit further, and it kind of got into the white collar, blue collar type people. And then all of a sudden, it kind of got back to a real high class type of people. You know, the women were in these nice ball gowns and whatever. And as we're walking through, one of the guys that I was with was just kind of taken by this one woman. And, you know, after a little further investigation, it's like, dude, that's a dude.
Welcome to New Orleans.
And, you know, so we kind of made it through that section, and then we get in, and it started progressively getting worse. There was one section to where we were standing there, and the crowd all around us was kind of going crazy, and people up on the balconies were going crazy. And there was a woman that was standing next to me that was flashing. And she's flashing up to the balcony, and I turn and look, and right here on the side of her breast, it said USDA Prime Choice. Tattooed
That was
on the side of her
Jax.
breast.
What are you pointing at?
That was Jax.
That was her?
Yeah.
You know?
Do I look familiar?
Now you do.
Do these
She
look
had it off.
familiar?
With the tattoos there.
He's all, oh my God, those are them.
But as we go through, and, you know, like I said, it progressively gets worse. And there was an area that kind of got into the leathers and chains and whips and those kind of folks. And there was, and I don't mean to be rude or anything, but there was the biggest woman I'd ever seen in my life, dressed in leathers,
Woo.
that had a dog chain connected to a man that was built like Ichabod Crane, in full leathers with a hood and mask and everything, walking him around with a bull ring on that dog chain.
That was Jackie and Howard.
Pretty sure we've seen one of those at Chad's house.
Oh, no, not at my house.
But then we go down a little bit further, and I guess it gets into a little more of the, well, I don't know what you want to call it, but anyway, there was a guy standing over under a balcony, standing there dancing, facing us. And the people on the balcony were going crazy and carrying on. And, you know, couldn't really figure out why, but there's this one guy standing there dancing. And then he turns around, and he's got on assless chaps.
Yep.
This is something I ask every time. Aren't all chaps assless?
No, but you can actually, they are, but you can actually see the ass.
Yeah.
I got you. I got what you're saying, but, you know.
Yeah. So we get down a little bit further, and then there's kind of the alternative lifestyle bars.
I took
Jack's
a picture in
about
front of that.
The one I went in last week.
Yeah.
I had heard about exhibitionist bars before. I didn't realize they were a thing that was on a main drag in a big city. But we wanted a drink, so we went in, and when you go through this door, there's a wall. Well, everybody else kind of went to the right. I went to the left, went straight to the bar, and got a drink. The guys that I was traveling with come running over to me. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? It's like, what? I'm watching the ball game on the TV, having me a cold drink. You know, turn around, and there are these two people up on a stage, on a table, just going at it. Okay, it's time to leave. So we get out of there, walk on down a little bit further. The street sweepers start coming out, you know, that final parade with the horses and the street sweepers and all that, where they push everybody up off the street onto the sidewalk. I don't do well in crowds. I have bubble issues. So I had my back against the wall, kind of standing there. But where I was standing, there were two open windows, on either side, that had the shutters open. And I didn't realize what was going on in these windows.
Do now.
So the people I was traveling with were all were all sitting there looking at me and just dying. I mean, just belly laughing, crying, laughing. Well, I hear the music in the bar that's behind me, and sure enough, out of this window and out of this window, they start seeing this, and it's two dudes. It was a male review. Yeah, it was time for me to get out of Louisiana.
This was Mardi Gras Day?
Yeah, this was the last day of Mardi Gras.
And what year was this?
That's
Oh,
funny.
shit.
I'm just trying to retrace my steps.
I want to say it was might have been 2010.
That's funny.
No, I was married.
It's 2010. Yeah. So, yeah.
I was there in 2010.
You still got the tattoo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure do.
All right.
There's a lot of things that happened for the Todd. You should have came to this wedding. I mean, everybody was down for Waverly Hills because they had that auction and everything, which I promoted that. If you couldn't make it here, you should have went to the. But yeah, there was a lot of things that you seen that you didn't want to see, that are like seared in your mind. Quite the
Some
time.
you did.
Oh
It
Lord!
was a good
One
time.
instant-
We had a
That's
good
what
time.
I'm saying. Yeah, Jackson. That's what I'm saying. She should have been a rodeo, and she should be twirling ropes. Because I mean, she was in that hot tub, and she had that bikini top, and she was just swaying
Oh,
around
shit.
like that.
No shit. I was like, Joe Bet sent me a message on Thursday night saying he was having boob withdrawals from not getting to see Jax. And then I think I called up Howard or called up somebody, and that's what the night I was aggravating the shit out of Chrissy, calling her up too. And Howard was like, okay, and then just shows Jax out in the hot tub, Jax and Anne, and Jax is, and I'm like, okay. She's like, "Broop, broop, broop." And then Joe joins in, and she's like, and then I see this.
That thing
these
was gone.
running everywhere. You know, I know there's people up in the motel windows like.
We had that
Oh,
dude that came downstairs with his two daughters, and that guy sat down, maybe deliberately sat down where we were,
He
and
did.
he thought he was texting, and all of a sudden his camera just went
Yeah,
off.
he was like trying to pretend like he's texting, and all of a sudden he's like
He's videoing the whole thing.
watching like this. Yeah, I'm sure that guy's still watching that video to this day. But you couldn't really, the people upstairs couldn't really see us. It was kind of a hidden little area.
Yeah, it was underneath like a thing.
Yeah.
What are you talking about,
Yeah, the hot
Chrissy?
tub was on.
She
What?
said, well, for heaven's sakes, you could still see me on two other people's cameras.
Oh, when we were at the bar, you were on
Oh.
everybody's phones. It was funny. She wasn't having it. She'd had enough.
I hate I missed it.
Oh, that was the night. Well, let's see. When was that? That was Friday night. That was Friday before the wedding.
Oh, no. She's talking about me calling her over and over and over again just to aggravate
That was
her.
Friday night before the wedding.
Yeah, that was the night you were in the hot tub.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I'm
left the
saying.
hot tub and then we went upstairs and changed and then we went down to the bar.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
because
was
y'all
a
came in on Friday.
Yeah, we got there on Friday. Oh my God. It was like we arrived. We literally went to the room, put our stuff away, put on our bikinis, went to the spa. And then we were all supposed to get together and then it ended up being Howard and Jackie. And then all you guys ended up on the phone. And then we left and went out. It was fun.
That's
We had a
because it
good
took
time.
y'all an hour and a half to change from your bikinis to go out.
We had to get ready. I was
We'll
so
only be a
relaxed.
minute. We'll only be a minute.
Only be 5 minutes.
I was sleeping in the lobby with Jackie. I mean, we were sleeping on the couch. Man, it was comfortable.
Well, some guy at the bar tried to kidnap me.
I heard about that,
Yeah.
but I don't think. But I heard it was like a mutual kidnapping.
Well, for maybe
Which
about
bar?
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Then I cut it off.
Which bar?
The first one when we were shooting pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had someone try to join the party, but I had to. You got to go.
You went to Vegas and he was in bed by 9. No, that wouldn't happen here, Denise.
We barely went out at like 9 or 10. It was after 10 because we stayed in the spot till 10.
Y'all,
So we didn't even get to the place till like almost midnight.
it took them 2 hours to get ready. So,
Oh God, it went from an hour and a half to 2 hours.
well, you said we didn't go out till like midnight, and we stayed in the
No,
spot.
I said we were at the bar at midnight.
Oh, okay.
Todd, where's Miss Leanne at?
Oh, she's asleep.
It's 11 o'clock. We all at.
Yeah,
She's living her best life, Howard.
With that being said,
she's got to get up and work early in the morning. So
we got to cut this off. I thank you, Todd, for coming on.
yes, sir.
And
Thanks, Todd.
keeping
Thank
Ernie
you.
straight. Keeping Ernie straight.
Yeah, that's
Good luck.
yeah. Poor Denise and Leanne are charged with that, keeping Ernie and I in line. So
Well, it sounds to me like you guys have a great time.
we do.
Jacks were taking so long because they were going out to tease some men. So,
Well, I'm sure you heard last week about, when we're on our vacation driving, we stopped at one hotel to get about 3 or 4 hours of sleep before we drove the rest of the way. And we had to unpack everything in the car.
Mm.
One of those roller racks. It
Yeah.
was full and had stuff hanging off, and I still had a backpack and everything else on to go in for them to sleep for 3 hours. 4
Oh
hours.
my God.
So,
That's why I just sleep in the car and go.
yeah. But yeah, it's a collaborative effort. They keep us in line. We try to keep them in line.
It sounds like they keep you busy. Oh, and that's where Denise says we needed options.
Options are good.
Well, with that being, it's 10:03. 2 hours. Like I said, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Appreciate it,
Anytime.
survey. Oh man, we'd love to have you back anytime you want to come back. Denise, I still got you. EAD stone.
dang, Ernie's going on
Hi,
another show.
Denise.
Still watching.
Hi,
ours,
everybody
so.
that's on.
And with that being said, join us tomorrow night when we having who does I guess tomorrow? Michael Koff. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, something like
On
that.
Unholy Trinity. So with that being said, we thank y'all for coming on tonight and joining with us. Everybody joining us. And next week I have no idea who the guests are because I'm still filling out some of the scheduling. So be watching.
Irene's still on here?
Yep.
Go, Irene.
We'll be celebrating all of our birthdays next week as well.
Yeah.
Mine was this week, so.
Yeah, we already celebrated Chad's. We got to do a big combo birthday for everybody. We're all June babies.
Yeah, all June babies. That's if I'm around on Baby Watch. So
That's right.
You were like, that's if I'm around. I was like, what?
I'm gonna be watching.
The baby's on its way.
I'm taking off for your birthday, actually, Chrissy. So.
Well, thank you, Todd.
Yeah,
Thank you, Todd. Y'all have a good night.
It was awesome
See y'all